Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Please let me know if any of that is confusing. So heuristics is another sort of thing that we use when we make judgments, and that can be sort of error prone. So they're basically just these little shortcuts that we always sort of jump to when we want to make decisions. So VCAR want you to know the positives and the negatives of these heuristics. So positives are this idea that, it's great because it leads to efficient decision making. So in a fast-paced situation, you can make decisions and it's great, and you can use, draw on prior knowledge, so it can be relatively informed. However, the negatives are when we use these mental shortcuts, we make generalizations that, sort of one size fits all, and like based on all this information, this must be true in this case, which isn't necessarily true. And that can form sort of the basis of stereotypes and prejudice when we start to, basically assign all the previous information or experiences we've had to everything that's kind of similar. So 3 things we think about with these heuristics are the availability, the effect, and the representativeness. So availability is this idea, again, sort of thinking about accessibility, how easy it is to bring something to mind. So how quick these, mental shortcuts are. It's this idea of when we're making a decision, how easily does this come to mind, and therefore we're more likely to act upon it because it's a very almost innate thing. In terms of effect, so this is, again, thinking about emotion. So rule of thumb with psych, when we see affect with an A, as opposed to the verb like affecting something where it's to do with emotion. So just always think affect means emotion. So when we thought of like the ABCs of our attitudes, I thought it effective. Again, that was to do with emotions. And next year, when you look at ABCs, it's always to do with emotions. So just bear that in mind. But this is the way in which our emotions play into these decisions. So when we have to make decisions in this fast-paced environment, our emotions definitely play into this and kind of influence what our decision will be. And then the last thing is representativeness. So we talked about how people are drawing on information of past experiences. It's this idea about how this situation sort of fits into a box. So with psych and with humans in general, we like to, I guess, compartmentalize things or always relate new things to things that we've experienced in the past. We like to put I always think, like those little kids games where you've got like a hole for a square and a hole for a triangle and a hole for a star, and then you have to like put each one in. That's what we like to sort of do with our experiences in our brain. So it's this idea of representativeness. So how this current situation, how this current decision sort of relates to ones that we've seen in the past, or the typical idea we have of these situations, or, these like this person, stuff like that.